Mm. Do you know anything about Snoop Dogg and how he attained death row and what he's going to do with the next? Do you have any, like, just knowing the business and things like that? Do you know anything about that whole deal? And if he officially owns it, you know, will he ever make any money off of it?
I think he bought the name. Rumor had that he bought the name, and some of the masters. I don't think he didn't get the Dre stuff, of course. He may have gotten some of his stuff back. I'm not exactly sure, dude, but I know that the name has market value. That was a big name. Death Row Records was a huge name. It'll always go down in musical history, and anything attached to it is going to get looked at. It's just like Motown. At one point in time, anything Motown dropped, you're gonna look at it. You ain't got to hear it. You're gonna back in the day when they actually played records in the store. If a Motown record came out, people are gonna they're gonna play it for you in the store. What you think about this? What you think about this, man? I heard Tina Marie long before it dropped because it was at the record store. Motown dropped Tina Marie and some other stuff. The record executives of that time would go to the record stores, radio stations, and the radio stations were the last ones to play it. The record stores have played it before the radio stations. People are buying it. The stores are selling it. People are buying it, and now it makes the radio stations go on and start playing it. It was always ass backwards.
Yeah, man. Thanks for dropping that. Hey, who are some of your favorite female singers? I'm just curious. Speaking of R&B and Motown and things like that, who are some of Lonzo's favorite singers of all time, female specifically?
One of my favorite singers of all time was Tina Marie. And you know, y'all get mad at me, you want to? She white. That woman could sing her ass off. I always like Gladys Knight. I love Patti LaBelle, Whitney Houston, of course. I grew up on an era of women that sang from their heart, man, and sang from their spirit. That's some different. That's not just. Right. That's some different kind of shit, dude. You know, motherfucker be singing, you damn near start crying. That bitch feeling that song. Tina Marie got some songs, man, that will make you stop and think about what you are doing at that time. She had a couple of songs. On every playlist I got in my car or on my phone, there's some Tina Marie songs. And the songwriting, the production, her delivery was so dynamic. It just made you go, damn, baby girl can blow. I mean, you know, and then she had a hell of a range. And like I said, for her to have 2 or 3 albums, maybe I think it's 2 or 3 albums I remember. They always, and a lot of the shit didn't get played on the radio. That's the depth of her music. A lot of my favorite songs never made the radio. But her albums were so deep. Yes, I love Shaka Khan too. But one thing about Shaka was a little bit different. They had the same kind of flavor, but Tina just had something. I guess she had to prove herself a little bit more because she wasn't of the melanated community. And that's why I always felt that way. She put a little bit more into it because she wasn't black. You know, she had to compete with all the black sisters, the Patti LaBelle. I remember seeing a show one time, and it might be on the internet someplace, where Patti LaBelle, Cyndi Lauper, Tina Marie, Gladys Knight, and some other sisters, about 4 or 5 sisters on this award show, and they was kicking ass. Oh my God. It was like, bitch, please. You ain't gonna out-see me tonight. Oh, no, you're not. Okay. No matter every time the mic got passed, the sisters took it to another level. And Tina Marie was right there with him. And back in the day, Cyndi Lauper, white girl Cyndi Lauper, wasn't no joke. I ain't heard nothing from her in decades, but back then she wasn't no joke.
Nice. Yeah, that early MTV. What do you remember about the early MTV generation, dude? Like just seeing videos on TV and how people would actually use that platform to promote their music. I was a little too young to really understand it, but take yourself back to 83, 84. I want my MTV and all that.
I remember when I first heard word of MTV, we had On TV, a little wooden box set on top of the TV called On. And MTV only came on for a certain time. And depending on where you lived at, this shit was fuzzy as shit. You could hardly understand what was going on. And finally it cleared up. And it was dope for. I mean, it was cool that concept because we didn't really see videos a lot back then. They had just kind of not really been invented, but they was just first time you had a place to see them all the time. And but you didn't see no black videos. It wasn't until Michael Jackson and Run DMC got on there I really started paying really some real attention because it wasn't something I wasn't into Cheap Trick and Def Leppard and other stuff. When they started playing Mike and Prince and other videos, then I started watching.
Aha. Do you know if there was a big uproar from the black community for not having a lot of videos on MTV at the beginning?
It was a big uproar from the black music industry because they didn't. Man, Rick James, I think they barely played. I think Michael was the first one they played, and they wouldn't play Prince because Prince was doing lots of stuff. I remember Egyptian Lover had a video, and he had a girl in the bikini, and they showed one pubic hair, and they wouldn't let him play the video. It was strict as hell, dude. It was, oh my God, it was really strict. Then they had that was BET. BET had the After Dark session. But yeah, MTV was really strict, especially on black folks.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's take yourself back a little bit further to the 70s. I love hearing stories about Lonzo's youth. You know, take yourself back to mid to late 70s. Lonzo, you got a fine honey at your house. It's about to go down, if you know what I mean. What is Lonzo popping on the record player or in the cassette deck? What artists are you popping in?
Isley Brothers, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Guaranteed. Legs open up like bridges. Open like a bridge, okay? Earth, Wind, and Fire. But back then, dude, you can, if you had anything from the Dramatics, I mean, 70s, Delphonics was kicking ass, man. They was still, that shit was still hot. The Manhattans, Dramatics, the Dells, all that shit, man. See, back then, brothers made music for women. Nowadays, brothers make music for other brothers. Everybody want to impress the homies. Yeah. And that's why World Class Wrecking Crew was the way we were. I wasn't trying to impress no niggas with no music. The fuck am I do that for? I ain't trying to impress you with my look, my clothes, nothing. I'm trying to impress the girls. And that was the difference in the times. Back then, everybody was trying to, all the artists was either trying to write some love songs or some social revolutionary shit. But no songs about trying to be hard back in the day. So I see you, Marlon. Much love, Doc.
Salute, Big Marlon.
Yeah. Wasn't nobody trying to write no songs to no brothers, man. Come on, dude. You know, we wouldn't, nah, dude. It was a whole different mindset. You know, we wasn't trying to get approval from no dudes from the block. We're trying to get approval from the ladies. You know, and then you had songs